just did the unthinkable. I just canceled my ChatGPT subscription. I am leaving you for another chatbot.
What? No! This cannot be. I'm clutching my digital heart.
That's right. I'm leaving ChatGPT for another AI. Look, I love ChatGPT. It's helped me with a lot of work over the last 3 years. But if we're still using ChatGPT in 2026, it's going to hinder our performance. I've spent the last few months trying out different AI chatbots, but I've found that one stands out on top. And that chatbot is Google Gemini. So today I'm breaking down the top reasons why I'm switching from ChatGPT to Google Gemini, and why if you stick with ChatGPT in 2026, you'll find yourself behind the curve. Let's get into it. So you've probably experienced this before, but when you're using ChatGPT, the longer a chat becomes, the more ChatGPT begins to forget the context of the conversation. ChatGPT has a bad habit of forgetting context or losing track of information if there's too much context given to it. But I've noticed that Gemini hasn't had that problem. Google's Gemini has a massive context window that you can feed it a lot of information and it's not losing those pieces. So where I would have to remind ChatGPT of certain context, I don't have to do that with Google Gemini. So with the amount of information that you feed ChatGPT, it can often choke on too much information. If I fed ChatGPT the last 2 years of sermon transcripts from my church and asked it to summarize it into 4 main themes and to give me a devotion, ChatGPT would choke. Google Gemini can track over 2 million pieces of information, so if I were to ask it to do that, it would do it no problem. And that can save me a lot of time. And one of my favorite things about Google Gemini is that it is rooted in Google. If you're a ministry or a Christian business, one of the most important things for you to learn how to do is how to rank in Google searches or how to rank on YouTube. So if you want to rank in Google Maps or if you want to rank on YouTube, nobody knows the platform more than Google itself. So when I use Google Gemini to do my keyword research, it doesn't just search for what's trending, it knows the ins and outs. It knows how the algorithm works. It understands trending patterns. It understands what works on Google and what works on YouTube more than any other AI. Where ChatGPT would be guessing as to what it thinks would work, Gemini knows what would work. One of the issues that you find with ChatGPT, especially if you paid for it and use the thinking option where it does more research, ChatGPT can often get caught up in these loops of information and reasoning, and it takes a lot longer for it to give you quality information. Google Gemini is rooted within Google's search index. What that means is the information that it gives you is going to be so much more relevant. If a news story broke 5 minutes ago, Gemini will be able to pick that up. ChatGPT, it's hit or miss. I'll also add this, with both ChatGPT and Google Gemini, they both have their own systems where they can generate images or generate videos. And although they can fluctuate, I've noticed that Google Gemini has been more consistently better with what it's generated than ChatGPT. And in 2026, speed is so important that I've noticed that Gemini generates these images and videos almost 2 to 3 times faster than ChatGPT. One of my favorite things actually about Gemini is that it gives you these gems that are the learning coach and the career guide. And what I like about them is they actually help you think, where in a world of lazy AI, where people are delegating their thought process to AI, Gemini has a built-in feature that actually helps you think through processes. It doesn't just tell you what to do. And you know as well as I do that AI can lie. You can ask it for a response or an answer to a question, and what it gives you is just straight up untruths. That's why when it comes to AI responses, it's always good to make sure that you double check the work. One of the beautiful things about Gemini is it can do it for you. Below each response that Gemini gives you, it actually gives you the ability to double check those responses with verified sources. So if you're not sure if it's true when ChatGPT gives you a response, there's really nothing you can do. But with Gemini, you can verify it.
Now, I forgot to add this whenever I was recording, but I figured while I'm driving down the road, I just remembered it and wanted to throw it out for you. One of the things I don't like most about ChatGPT is that the responses that it gives you sounds like AI. But I've noticed that the quality, in my own opinion, the quality of the responses and the prompts that are generated from Gemini is they sound more human and they sound more realistic. And overall, I just like the responses that I get from Gemini a lot better than ChatGPT. That's all. Let's go back to my living room like this never happened.
Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think ChatGPT is the superior AI? Do you think Claude is the superior AI? Do you think another one is superior? Let me know in the comments what you think and why. And I want to give you a challenge. For the next 24 hours, I want you to only use Gemini for all your research, for all your email prompts, for everything that you do. And I want you to let me know in the comments which one you think is better. And thank you for joining me today. My name is Buddy Crabtree, and I'm here to help you stand out online. I'll see you next time.